Gagawang bumper. Cabinet officials are downplaying the need for a state of emergency as oil prices climb to new highs. The Energy Department says it is better to focus on fuel subsidies, while the Finance Department believes that oil price pressures from the Russia-Ukraine war won't last long. PUV drivers are now resorting to charging passengers higher fares in order to keep up with rising pump prices. This as petitions to hike the minimum fare are still pending. President Duterte has appointed new officials to the Comelec, prompting concerns from watchdogs on how this could affect the upcoming elections. The Supreme Court has issued a temporary restraining order against Comelec's controversial Oplan Baklas. And in sports, the Obiena PATAFA row continues, with the sports body excluding the pole vaulter from its SEA Games roster. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Joey Salceda remains firm that suspending oil excise taxes should be the part of the government's plan to counter rising fuel costs. Salceda told the chiefs that apart from excise tax suspension, providing fuel subsidies can help address the consecutive oil price hikes. Salceda recently called on President Duterte to declare a state of economic emergency in order to address the hike in fuel prices.
Kailangan po talaga sabayan po to ng suspension ng excise tax. Nasa Kongreso po ngayon, nakabitin lang, naka-sponsor na, ang nakalagay doon na paglampas 80, wala na ho yung mga train excise tax.
But for Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi, there's no need just yet to declare any state of emergency. Cusi says they will instead work on increasing the budget for the fuel subsidy program.
I don't think it is necessary at this point. No, even when you declare an economic emergency, what do you do during the economic emergency? Ganun pa rin what we're doing. I wouldn't say that it's necessary at this point in time.
On the other hand, Finance Chief Sonny Dominguez does not expect the Ukraine-Russia conflict to last very long. Dominguez expressed confidence that inflation will remain within the target range despite the rise in fuel prices.
There may be some lingering effects. We have seen similar crises in the past. Based on these experiences, we are confident that we have the tools and the preparation necessary to help our people through this crisis.
And transport groups renewed their calls for a fare hike after the major increase in gas prices. Shaila Francisco with the details.
Roberto wasn't able to fill up his gas tank ahead of the massive oil price hike due to limited budget.
4 ikot lang ang dinidiesel ko dahil wala pang papultang. Kaya si Commander, minsan wala lang nga inuuwi eh.
Wala na talaga?
Wala na. Boundary na lang, boundary Clodo, susobra, 200.
This is why some drivers along Marcos Highway are asking passengers to pay more than the 9 peso minimum fare.
Mula po noong pandemic, ma'am, na-umpisa na po yung 10 piso, ma'am. So ngayon, ma'am, halos last po, ma'am, na kinikita namin, napupunta lang po sa diesel, ma'am, eh.
Pero hindi na rin binabalik yung...
Hindi na po, di na rin sila humingi.
While some passengers let it go, others demand for the change.
Kung magkano lang yung sukli, okay lang din, naintindihan namin din sila. Hindi na lang kami nagre-reklamo.
Minsan po, hindi na nagsukli, okay lang. Opo. Kasi tumaas din daw po yung gasolina eh. Nireklamo din talaga po ako sa driver pag sobra po.
Bakit?
Kasi dapat, yun lang ang sinisingit.
The LTFRB is reminding PUV drivers that they may be fined up to 15,000 pesos for overcharging.
Hindi po ibig sabihin na wala pong nanghuli sa kanila na na LTFRB enforcer na caught on the act po sila, ay hindi na po sila papatawan dahil pag may reklamo po sa atin, yung publiko ay mag-i-issue po ng show cause order.
Meanwhile, the agency has yet to decide on the petition of transport groups to hike the minimum fare by up to 6 pesos.
Napakabigat na po, sir, ng aming sitwasyon ngayon. Kami naman po, on our part, nababanggit ko yan doon, mga interviews ko, at alam naman po niyan, kung bumalik na tayo sa normal na presyo, normal operation, bumagsak ulit ang presyo, bumalik sa lang 30, wala ang problema, mag-usap ulit tayo.
In the LTFRB's computation, only around a peso could be added based on the recent changes in the prices of fuel. The decision for a 10 peso minimum fare is up for resolution, but the agency vows to continue assessing the situation.
We want to be very cautious here so that we'll be able to balance the interest of the driver to keep providing public transport in a sustainable manner, while at the same time not having to unduly burden.
Another hearing on the proposed fare hike is scheduled for March 22. Shaila Francisco, WR1 News.
We'll be back with more stories after this short break. Stay with us here on One News. You are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Presidential candidate Leni Robredo is in the Caraga region today to continue her campaign for the upcoming elections. Gerard de la Peña reports to us over the phone from Surigao City for more updates. Gerard, how was the welcome for VP Leni over there?
Well, Sean, VP Leni had a jam-packed schedule this International Women's Day. But as we've seen from her previous sorties, Robredo has been very active in reaching out to as many areas and sectors as possible. Robredo started her day with a small but well-attended rally in Bislig, Surigao del Sur. The VP was surprised to get a warm welcome as it was just her second time in the area. There, she asked for help to fight the spread of false information. Robredo also attended the mass in Tandag before going to a multi-sectoral meeting with the residents. In the meeting, the presidential candidate emphasized the need to protect the welfare of the indigenous people, particularly the Lumad. She was also at the Women's Summit in Surigao, coinciding with the International Women's Day today. She unveiled 2 programs initiated by the provincial government, a road project, and a nutrition program for malnourished mothers. Her last stop for today is a people's rally in Surigao City. Sean, tomorrow, Robredo will visit Danawan Island, one of the beneficiaries of her program for fishermen. After that, she will go around various towns in Agusan. Sean.
All right, thank you so much for that update. Gerard de la Peña over the line from Surigao City. Olympic pole vaulter EJ Obiena has been excluded by PATAFA from its roster for the upcoming Southeast Asian Games in Vietnam come May. Olympic Committee President Bambol Tolentino says this deprives the country of 1 gold medal in the biennial meet. The 26-year-old Obiena won gold during the 2019 SEA Games hosted by the Philippines. Obiena, who holds the Asian record, was also not listed for the World Indoor Championships in Belgrade that's happening on March 18. And here's a quick look at today's other top stories. President Duterte has appointed former National Commission on Muslim Filipinos chief Saidamen Pangarungan as the new Comelec chairman. Veteran election lawyer George Garcia and Social Welfare Undersecretary Amy Neri have also been appointed as Comelec commissioners. Economic managers are calling for a nationwide shift to Alert Level 1 at the soonest possible time. Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Kendrick Carl Chua says this is necessary to strengthen the economy and to offset external risks. And the Supreme Court has issued a temporary restraining order against the Comelec's Oplan Baklas. Supporters of Vice President Leni Robredo sought this restraining order as they await resolution on their petition challenging the poll body's taking down of campaign materials. The High Court has given the Comelec 10 days to comment on this petition. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.